They would come down on their enemies like predatory pegasi. Humor me, okay? Predatory pegasi. That's what they did.
What's going on, folks from the Panzer Battalion, and all of you night witches from that division and every other regiment of Sabaton fandom that is possibly watching this video at this time. Welcome to my channel. So it's been about a week since my reaction to Careless Rex, both the music video and the live version. And I have to admit right now, I can't react to anything else from that because I just ended up binging that album. I started at the beginning and I played it through I don't know how many times. Amazing album. I even put it on in my car. My son's in there with me. He's like, "Oh, Dad, this is really good. This is cool." And he's 4, so he's got good taste. So thank you guys for that recommendation. Again, I found an amazing album. And something else I found during that last reaction is the amazing merch that Sabaton has. So coming to my house, I have an official white camo sweatshirt coming, and I also have a Careless Rex patch. Now this may seem kind of lame, but I think what I want to do is every time I finish an album, I'm going to get a patch and throw it on that sweatshirt, and then I can wear it when I do Sabaton reactions. You may be looking at me now like I'm a total geek. I know it. I completely admit to it, but I'm super pumped about that. So far we've delved into a little bit of World War II history. Then we went into a little bit of Swedish history with Careless Rex. Now we are going to head into Poland for a little bit. And I was going to actually do 40 to 1 tonight, but then I realized, you know what? We might as well start a little bit earlier with the Winged Hussars. We're going to be doing, I think it's their official video. I'm pretty sure it is. Or perhaps it's fan-made like the other one. I'm not sure. But this was the version that was recommended, so I'll check it out. So here we go. Now, I did check out the Sabaton History channel on this, so as always, I like to just kind of summarize a little bit about what they talked about. So the Winged Hussars was a kind of a very expensive but elite sort of fighting unit, of course, utilized in many different skirmishes by Poland. And the fighting style and the look of these knights was influenced by a lot of different, by the Russians and by the Byzantines and even the Mongol cavalry. They're definitely known for having incredibly flashy armor, encrusted in jewels and things, and leopard skin capes and things that hung off of their horses, leopard skin, tiger skins and things. Very large helmets, and of course their signature trademark, the big giant wings that were kind of stuck in the saddle of their horses that went up over their backs, like so. There are a few theories as to whether or not they actually used these wings during battle, or if it was just kind of a ceremonial thing for like parades or other things outside of the battlefield. But the camp that believes they utilized them in battle would argue that it made perfect sense, because the wings not only struck fear into their enemies, but also into the horses, because they were a major cavalry unit. So if they were going up against other horses or other units or whatever, the horses, just not used to seeing that strange object, would sometimes panic and throw things into disarray and give them a little bit of an edge. Even though they had swords and other types of shorter weapons, their signature weapon was a 16-foot pike that they used. And it was kind of a one-use only pike because it was very lightweight. It was kind of hollow. So one impalement and that pretty much did the weapon in. So for that reason, they only usually fought for about a day. And that day was considered the decisive either victory or loss. If they couldn't get the job done, then they were probably out of luck overall. Now, the particular battle talked about in this song is during the Siege of Vienna back in 1683 by the Ottoman Empire. After the city had been under siege for several days, it seemed that pretty much all was lost and that they were going to breach the walls. The Winged Hussars arrived. And yes, that was a reoccurring joke in the History Channel. And supposedly there's a lot of memes that I'm probably going to put up while I edit. Like right there and right there. And another one. Why not? Okay. So enough yammering. Let's get into this song Can't wait to check it out. Here we go. All right. Oh, wait, let me stop it really quick. Okay, so here's Austria, right? I think it's important to note that, oh man, there was about 50 to 60,000 Ottomans, I believe. Or maybe I'm mixing up the story with 40 to 1. I know there was 40,000. Well, there was a lot of Ottomans out here. But there was actually 18,000 winged Hussars who come. So, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Here we go. September 11th.
When the winged Hussars arrive,
There they are. Look how excited they are, too. He's like, oh, shit.
cry for help in time of need, await relief from Holy League. 60 days of siege outnumbered and weak. Sent a message to the sky, wounded soldiers left to die. Will they hold the wall, or will the city fall?
Okay, I take that back. I said a few days. Under siege for 60 days. 60 days. So, yeah, they were about to break through. And it also said something like received help from the Holy League or something. That was another thing, too. When they were talking about banding them back together, it almost sounded like almost like a European crusade formation back, when that all happened. And how they all, kind of got the Winged Hussars back together, to go on this holy, I don't want to call it a conquest, but just to go and fight the Ottomans, right? And a lot of their armor was kind of bejeweled with holy relics and images and things like that. So I just thought I wanted to bring that up. All right, let me back up. Sorry.
Will they hold the wall, or will the city fall? Dedication, that outnumbered 15 to 1. And the battle's begun, and the winged Hussars arrive. Coming down the mountainside.
Could you imagine what that looked like with their wings coming
The
down?
winged Hussars arrive. Coming down, they turn the tide. As the days are passing by, and as the dead are piling high, no escape and no salvation. Trenches to explosive halls are buried deep beneath the walls. Plant the charges there and watch the city fare. Desperation, it's a desperate race against the mind, and a race against time, and the winged Hussars arrive.
All right, something else really quick too. I like how they said that, a race against the mine, I believe they said. Because you saw they were planting charges underneath the wall to blow them up. Now, it's very odd to me. I gotta admit, my knowledge of history is patchy. I'm very familiar with certain periods. And it's always interesting to me to see, here you have the Winged Hussars, right? They're basically like a Knights Cavalry kind of thing with their weapons. Then you see soldiers with firearms, right? And you see cannons. And then you see a castle wall with cannon fire. And it just seems odd, and it really lends to the fact that as technology increased, some countries and some armies and stuff would embrace those things, but they would also hold on to old things. And it was also, I thought it was really interesting when I studied World War I. I did study that quite a bit. And in the very beginning of World War I, there was still a lot of old technology where they mostly used horses and just a lot of military technology that they had used back in the 17th century, even the Napoleonic Wars and things like that. So very interesting how just over a span of a few years in World War I, the way we went from horses and things, right? It's like single shot, almost musket fire to, of course, the heavy artillery and things like that. So anyways, yeah, bear with me. I've done a bunch of reactions lately where I didn't have to think much. I just enjoyed the music. And now I'm back to Sabaton. So I gotta geek out a little bit. So that's why you're here, right? Maybe? Okay.
Coming down the mountainside, then the winged hussars arrive.
It's pretty cool special effects in this, you know?
Turn the tide. Cannonballs are coming down from the sky. Janissaries, are you ready to die? We will seek our vengeance eye for a night. You'll be stopped upon the steps of our gate. On this field you're only facing your hate. And the cold Sabaton sealing your fate.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. Let me hear that again. I heard a lot of synth in there, kind of syncing up with the guitar as it went through that very kind of intricate fill and lead into this next part here, which sounds like a solo. Let me just back that up a little bit and listen to that. Hopefully I catch it.
You'll be stopped upon the steps of our gate.
Did I go
On this
far
field
enough?
you're only facing your hate. And the cold Sabaton sealing your fate.
That's great.
We remember in September, doesn't make the year. Now was green. We made the enemy bleed. And the winged hussars arrive. Coming down the mountainside. And the winged hussars arrive. Coming down, we turn the tide.
Nice effects.
And the winged hussars arrive. Coming down the mountainside. And the winged hussars arrive.
Yeah, see how they would just snap? It's like a one use. That's it.
We remember in September when the winged hussars arrived.
Nice. Yeah, you know, just like the other one. So I did hear that the other one with Careless Rex was actually from a movie. So let me know if this one is too. The effects, they were cool, but you could kind of tell they were maybe even done, you know, with a simple computer program. You know, because the castle walls didn't crumble or anything like that. They were just, you know, but it was still neat. Don't get me wrong, please. But let me know what that's from. Definitely might want to check that out. But all right, well, let's wrap it up. So I could only imagine how that song is played and received in Poland. I bet it's incredible. I learned a lot from the Sabaton History Channel that the Winged Hussars is just an iconic thing that binds Polish people together in their national pride and that sort of thing. And we did talk a little bit about that with Careless Rex, and of course that conversation went deep into the comments as well, because it is kind of a touchy thing, but in a very similar way how the Swedes look to Careless Rex as that iconic figure that unifies them in spirit. And that is definitely something that this band does so well. And it's unfortunate that sometimes people read a little bit too much into that, instead of simply allowing people to have some pride and recognition and knowledge of the country they live in, or maybe where their ancestors came from. So as I said before, mad kudos to this band. They certainly get a lot of respect from me for keeping these stories alive and just uniting people together. I'm really excited to check out that show in Poland. And maybe I'll even see if I can do a double reaction with this and 40-1 live. So either way, thank you guys for joining in, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. Until then, be safe, be healthy, and be nice to each other.